Much, Courtney. A very special guest joining us this morning. Well, three of them. Three special guests and one guest of honor, Zach Klassen. Good morning to you, my man.
Good morning.
And Zach, you've brought your mom, Tanis, with you today, and a good buddy of yours, Jason Clark. We want to say good morning to all of you. Zach, can you tell us about this disease that you're fighting? What's it called again?
Hypoparathyroidism.
Hypoparathyroidism. I haven't heard much about it. Do you hear a lot of people say that? No, like it seems like most people kind of are like, what? Can you say it again? What is it that you're living with?
Hypoparathyroidism.
Hypoparathyroidism. Tanis, what's this all about?
Well, hypoparathyroidism is actually a symptom of a greater disease. You will hear people talk about hypoparathyroidism. Lots of people who have had thyroidectomies because of thyroid cancer will end up with their paraglands taken out. And that is actually what's actually wrong with Zach, is his paraglands in the back of his neck, they don't produce any hormone. They don't produce PTH, parathyroid hormone. And parathyroid hormone tells your body what to do with calcium, to put it in your bones, to put it in your nervous system, to put it in all the right places that you need it. And without that hormone, parathyroid hormone, your body doesn't know what to do, and it puts it in the wrong cases. In Zach's case, he has severe calcinosis of the kidneys, and it's throughout his brain. It's also in other places as well, and it has affected his frontal lobes, and so executive functions and a whole bunch of stuff.
And now we know that you're a special guy. We know that you're a 1 in a million kind of a kid, but I mean, it really certainly applies here in a sense, doesn't it, as well? Because I understand you're the only person in Canada living with this disease.
With this branch of disease, Zach's actual diagnosis, his mutation is he has a nucleotide substitution in exon 7 of the Cas receptor gene. So he has a gene mutation that has turned off the calcium sensing receptors in his genome, and then and he doesn't make parathyroid hormone, which is what that is a symptom of a greater disease.
How many times have you how many times have you swung on by the hospital in relation to this? You've probably had a few hospital visits.
A lot.
Yeah, and how do you keep your chin up? How do you keep your attitude so positive? Because you walked in here with a big smile on your face, Zach.
Well, Mom said after this she'll get me a donut.
Yes, maybe even two.
Maybe two.
Maybe two. Jason, how did you get into the mix here? Because Zach's therapy takes a lot of money. The government's not subsidizing it, and you've stepped in to help raise what you're hoping will be $80,000 to help the family here. What's your connection?
Well, I was actually doing some work for Tanis. She was sitting at my desk, and my screensaver popped on, and of course it was Star Wars. And she had mentioned that Zach loves Star Wars. I thought that was great. Then I overheard some people talking that Zach was extremely sick, and it was a very rare sickness. So it just immediately hit me that something needed to be done. There's a need there, and so I decided to go and talk to Tanis and find out what was going on, and she told me Zach's story. I don't have a lot of means to provide $80,000 myself, but I do have a few followers on Instagram, and I thought, well, maybe if I can rally the Star Wars fans that I have on Instagram, maybe I can do something. So
we can find you on Instagram at Vintage Star Wars, correct?
That's correct.
And you're donating some of the items that belong to you, as well as recruiting other people to donate items as well, Star Wars memorabilia?
That's correct. Yeah.
What is it that you love, Zach, so much about Star Wars? What really catches your eye about Star Wars?
I like action.
You like action and the idea of space, and you guys have probably found some common ground here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how's this going to work? Just very quickly, because you guys you had it out of country for treatment here.
We did. You know what? Zach was diagnosed in March of 2010. And he was 7 years old, and when I say diagnosed, they finally figured out what was, because he was having tetany and seizures and all these things, and they couldn't figure out at the Stollery what it was. Then they figured out that they did a calcium lab and figured out his calcium was very low, and they called it idiopathic hypoparathyroidism. Idiopathic is a fancy word for we don't know.
So you've got to head to Maryland to talk to the experts,
Maryland.
and this is where the money comes into play, because the Alberta government's not paying for it.
No,
the Ottawa's not paying for it. Okay, well listen, this is an ongoing auction, which is a really great idea, and very cool stuff up for bid. You know, whether you're a Star Wars fan, whether you're a fan of helping out a kid that's got a big smile on his face, that's fighting something that not many people are familiar with, we encourage you to check out trenchrunrebels.blogspot.com. We've put all the information on our website under the Inside BT link. You'll find the link there, so it's nice and easy. breakfasttelevision.ca under the Inside BT link. Jason, how long does the auction run for?
Each auction is up for 1 week.
Each auction up for 1 week, and some amazing stuff up for grabs. Let's do what we can to help out Zach Klassen and his entire family as they fight hypoparathyroidism with the support of an entire city. Zach, you got a couple donuts in your future, my man. We're going to get to break to make that happen at 6:28 Monday morning. May the force be with you. The force is strong in this young one.